Hey, welcome back. Let's talk about the date conversion function in PostgreSQL. This will be part of the uh, demo playlist focused on SQL date concepts and functions. So to convert a data from string or text data type to a date data type, we can use the toDate function. And toDate function is pretty much uh, uh, is used to convert a string or text data type into a date data type. It accepts a string and a valid date format as the argument, and the date format must be demonstrated well in our argument. And then lastly, it converts the input string into a date according to the format that we define in the argument. So let's get to the example. Without any further ado, I'm going to look at this table right here where I have the names and the uh, date. It's just a fabricated date of four legends here and their registration dates. So this is not their date of birth. It's just a date I had to just come up with for to provide this example for the demo. So what's happening is, as you can see, for the name we have it says on the data type that it's a string data type, right? It's a character varying 250, and then the same thing happens to the date for the registration date data variable, which tells us that this is actually nothing but a string data type. So when a string data type, then it kind of limits your ability to be able to perform date-related functions and analyses. So it only limits you to be able to perform a string or text-related analysis. If you really want to perform if you want to make use of your date data types, then it's important for you to convert uh, that column of concern or that variable of concern to a date data type before you were able to do all of that. So that's why it's important to know how to convert uh, a data type to a date data type. So one of the basic examples I'm going to provide is going to be the function where I will pass the string data type and the format data type both in the same line of code, where I'm going to say, hey, look, I have a date, let's say that is 2023, and let's say 11 uh, uh, 11 or 11, let's say 05, right? Or maybe I should just put the dash. And then what I would like you to do is I would like you to change this to a date format, right? And I'm going to say change it to this date format where I have four Y's for the year, two M for the month, and then two D's for the days, right? And so once I run this, you're going to see I'm going to get a result for this date, although it's a string here, and the result is going to be a date data type. And as you can see here, this is nothing but a string, but a character. So it really depends on the tool that you're using. If you put any information inside a string like this, inside a single code or double code, depending on what tool you're using, then you're pretty much introducing that inserted value as a string or text. So, but then you also can convert it like we just did right now. It went from a string, uh, uh, a string data type to a date variable. Although it has the numbers in here, but we specified it to be a string data type by adding these single quotes in here. So let's use some real life examples now. I'm going to use example using the table here, right? And so if we were to perform an analysis on, let's say, on the dates here, right? Any type of performance, any type of, let's say, any type of query that we perform on the date is going to come back and say, hey, look, you're dealing with a string variable here, so you will not be able to do it. So, for example, let's say if I say, give me everything from the table name is table master one, right? And then I say where, right? Let's say rack date, let's say rack date, or I can say the year rec date is, let's say, uh, above 1965, right? And you're going to see that it's going to give me a result saying, look, uh, it does not exist, right? Relation table master is not, okay, I think I messed up with the name table master one. Okay, yeah. That was a wrong error message. So there you go. So now it's saying that where year being created in 1965 cannot work. No function matches the given name and argument type. Well, you might need to add explicit data typecast. So it's saying, hey, look, the query is good, but you may be having problem with your data type because you are saying you're pretty much meaning me. I'm telling SQL to give me from this column registration date, all of those values that are above 1965, and I'm specifying them to say, hey, look, only do this based on the year, right? But then how can it do it for me? Because this column is string column. It's text column. How will it go crawl in there and extract the year date for me and then perform a filter on it, right? Or maybe something more complex could be, let's say, just to make sure, it could be like the extract condition clause we can add here and say, look, extract year from rec date, right? And then run it from here. And this is confirmed uh, more confirmed test here that either in this way, also in this way, we are seeing that it fails because of the reason which I just explained. We're asking SQL to extract the year from a data type that is string, so that we will fail miserably here, which you just did. So that's the way to now. Let me go back to the table before I get lost what I was trying to do. Yes, so let's go ahead and change this to a date variable, and I'm going to just push this down. Oh, this is by the way, this is where I put these inserted these the date the string date values, right? Although they're dates, but I added them a string, and as you can see here, and a couple of things that you probably see by now is that I did not use standard like dashes. I used a combination of, let's say, slashes, dashes, dots here, for the separator between the date, between the date for the month, day, and y, month, day, and year. I use period here for the separators. I use dash here, and then I use slash on the same line of date, and then I use slashes here. So kind of, and SQL is okay with it because as long as I tell SQL, as long as I cast it as a string data type, SQL is going to be okay with it. So it doesn't really matter if you put period, if you put slash, anything. I'm going to take it the way it is because string anyway, it's not going to hurt. So that's why you see these dates having inconsistent separators between each in the month, day, and y. You have slash here, then you have dash here. So that's what I want to show you. And then so now let's go back here. Now let's convert now, right? Let's convert this to a date variable, which is the focus of this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the select statement, right? And then we're going to pass this function to date, just like we did over here, except that here we're going to first we're going to instead of passing a value, which we did here for the string that needs to be converted, we're going to pass the name of the column here, which is the rec underscore date with registration date, right? And then we put a comma, and then here we're going to specify the type of it, right? So we want the same way we want mm, and then we want dt. So we're going to run this, and matter of fact, before I run it, let me just save it, put a new alias for it, and call it as rec date uh, converted, right? So we don't make a mistake with it. And when I run it, you're going to see, oh, there's a mistake. Oh, I did not specify the table name. As always, I get confused. There you go. So go ahead and run it, and there you go. It says this is out of range. That's because I put the wrong date format. Why? Because I have them as mmddyy. So 1 second, I made a mistake here. dd and then yy. And now let's go ahead and run it again. And I must have One second. Let's go back here to the DD, and Y. All right. Let's go ahead and run it. There you go. So now you can see that not only were we able to convert these numbers and kind of uniform all of the separators with dashes, we also changed the date variable. That's very important. We changed the date variable type, is what I'm trying to say. It went from a character string to a date now. How do we know it? Because there's the date type written here as a subcategory below the label name, right? So let's go ahead and select the rest of the columns, put them side by side. It's going to be name and rec. So let's put the name and rec date and then this, so that we have a better idea of what they look like. There you go. So as you can see, now we have the converted date here, right? The name, the registration date, and then the converted date. I know the converted date are not consistent in terms of their positions. That is a different functionality which I'll talk about in the next video. As long as you're able to do a conversion of the date, and then you can do additional transformation once you complete the first process and first step in the process, which is to convert your string data type to a date data type. So now we have two characters, and then we have a two string data types, and then a date data type. So we were able to do that. So how do we know? How do we know if this is really a data type? Let's run a function of let's say date difference, right? And see if this is going to talk to other dates. And let's do what? Let's do an age difference, or I mean it's not age, but it's a date difference function in PostgreSQL. So let's say we're going to use the current date, which is today's date, and then we're going to do an age, which is the different time, which pulls the difference between two dates. And then I'm going to put for the first date, I'm going to put the rec edit, right, this one. In fact, since I did not save this there yet, this is going to be from here, so I'm going to use the rec date. So it's going to be rec date, right, rec date, and then I'm going to put I'm going to have to change that to date. Why? Because I still the main table does not have this. I did not create a new table based on that. So let's just do the to date here now. Open a new parentheses and then add the argument of to date, so you can change this rec date into the format which is specified in mddyyyyy. And then once you do that, let's go ahead and close the parentheses. We have to put two parentheses because I have open two parentheses over here. And then lastly, just pass the table name from table master one, right? Let's go ahead and do that. So what's doing right now is it's selecting the current date, which is the default current date, meaning today's date, and it's going to perform a date difference function, right, on this date, rec date, this date. And then before it does that, it's going to have to convert it to a date. Otherwise, it's not gonna do it for us. So let's go run it, and you're gonna see. In fact, uh, yes, in fact, let's go ahead and put the name, the rec date, because I want them all side by side, and then rec date. Yeah, the rec date, these two. Yeah, let's go ahead and convert that. There you go. So as you can see now, when the current date, right, when the rec date uh, had to be converted into a date, this is when we do a date difference, meaning we minus it from today's date, whose current date, we actually have this age difference or this time difference between today's date and these given dates here. So that tells me that to date is actually valid here. It actually talks to other actual dates, which is the current date, right? Now, if we were to perform this on this rec date without having converted it into wait, did I copy it twice? No, I did. Without converting it into a to date, let's say we do age difference for the rec date, right? Without having to convert it, right? That's how it's going to be. We're getting the name, we're going to reg date, and we're going to get the current date, age, the age, the date difference between them, and run it. You're going to see it's going to show an error and say, look, you may want to like, add explicit data type cast. You may want to like change your, recast your data type, meaning may need to go and recast it and reconvert your data type before performing any calculation between reg date as a date data type. Otherwise, SQL is not going to recognize it. So I hope this helped us you clarify and also confirm that to date actually either you perform it and create a new column or you perform it within a SQL script is going to allow you to perform calculation or communication with other date variables, right? So let's do something else now. Instead of performing it inside the script, let's just go ahead and create a new table. And this time we're going to let's create. Matter of fact, let's just create a new column here, and this time let's just put the converted version of the reg date converted here. So and this let's call that table. This is good. This is the table master one. Let's just call it table master two, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna say create table. Let's say create table, and then let's name it table master two, right? Once we do that, excuse me, we're gonna say as select. We're going to say select. What are we gonna get? Name, and then we're gonna get the reg date, right? Which is this column. We're gonna get this column, and then lastly, we're going to get. We're gonna get the. We're gonna do the to date, right? We're gonna convert this one to a date column. We're going to keep this one, but we're also going to convert it to a date column, to date, and then we're going to open a new parentheses, and then reg date, and then comma, and then put the date format. And then once you do that, we're going to close the parentheses, and then just maybe give it the alias to date. Sorry, not today. Reg date converted, right? Call it that. And then lastly, we're going to say from table master one. Table master one. So what's going to do is going to create a new table called create table master do, and it's going to select this column, and a converted new column based on this column, convert this into a new column, and give it and create a new table called master two. Let's go ahead and run this, right? And it's successful. So if I refresh my tables here now, you're going to come down, you're going to see student table, sorry, master table, where's table master two is now created. So if we query select all master table master 2, oh, 12, that's so how is from table master 2, you're going to see that now we have the uh, the registration date converted into a date data type from character to date data type. So now we can actually perform another example just to clarify things. Uh, 1 second. Yes. So here we failed. So let's perform this on date data type. And so let's say we're gonna ask select everything, right? Let's get all the list of legends whose registration date is, let's say, above 1965. It should also give us one 1970, which is Michael Jackson. Everybody else is 1960 or below. So we're gonna say select everything from table master two. So remember, that's the new table, this table. For table for select master two, and then we're gonna add this conditional clause and say, look, give me the extract, right? Of year. Remember, we're gonna have to extract the year. Now we're gonna specify. We can't just say, date, above 1965. We have to specify what do we need from here, and say from a reg date, right? And then say let's above 1965. So we're saying give me everything from table master to where the registration date. Oh, I forgot registration date converted, because otherwise it's not gonna do it. Like look, if I do on this column, just like I did it here, it failed. It's gonna fail. See, it's gonna fail. We need to do the data type cast it's saying. But if I do it on the converted data type column, which is this column, converted, you're going to see that I'm going to get a result now. Let's go. Let's go 1, 2, 3. There you go. So it worked. So why? Because of obvious reason that this is a date type column. So we said give us everything from table master to where the extract, where the year, and we have to put extract because I have to extract it before run the filter on it. Of this converted date column is above 1965. That's it for this video. If you got any value out of this, please do like and subscribe my channel. As always, thank you. See you in the next video.